Hello, I'm Dubious, and welcome to my light assault tips video. Tip number 1, use your jetpack. Now, the jetpack is much more than just a gimmick on this class. This is essentially your primary tool for all situations. Your role as a light assault is to not fight on the floor face to face, because you lose all fights. You lose against maxes, you lose against heavies, you even lose against medics if they have their self-heal running. What you want to be doing is leaping around to high places or flanking maneuvers, trying to get around. You should only really shoot when the enemy hasn't seen you, when you can get them from behind or at least from the side. To that end, it's often quite a good idea to not shoot while you're getting into position. Like if you're kind of going around on like a long flanking path on top of a roof or something, and you see an enemy, but he's just running past, and you probably won't actually kill him, just get some hit markers on. Don't shoot, because it will alert your enemy to your position. It will show you up on the minimap, and it will draw attention for no benefit. What you want to do is run around, wait until you get the perfect opportunity, and then run in and start getting massive kills. Tip number 2 is get C4. If you're anywhere serious about playing the light assault class for an extended period of time, you need to get C4. What C4 is a small deployable explosive charge. You put it down with right mouse button, get away from it, and then explode it with the left mouse button. The reason it's so useful is because it adds a whole other dimension of utility to the class that it sorely lacks, especially against vehicles. The default light assault class literally cannot do anything to vehicles. Your carbine can damage fighter aircraft, I guess. You have nothing. And so it means that you can spend all this time jetpacking into a really good position, and you can see a tank right in front of you that hasn't seen you, and you can't do anything about it. And it's frustrating, to be honest. I find it really annoying as much as anything. Getting C4 turns you from that into this incredible tank killer. You can put it on the rear armor of tanks. It does more damage if you put it on the back armor. And because of your jetpack, you're the only class that can get into these incredible positions. You've also got to remember that tanks have a much more restricted viewing angle than infantry does, so it's much easier for you to sneak up on them. You just go high, run across some buildings, and then you can basically just get behind it easily, mate. You can have up to 2 C4 charges. It's quite expensive. It's 200 certs for 1 and 500 for 2, but 2 is definitely worth it. Basically, 1 charge will put a lightning on fire, take a vanguard or whatever down to low health, won't kill it, and will take just under half health of a Sunderer. Putting 2 satchels of C4 will one shot both major tanks, and will take a Sunderer down to flames. So if one of your teammates shoots a rocket at it, or even if you manage to just hang around long enough and kill any engineers that try and save it, it will just burn out and blow up on its own, which means you can one-shot all the vehicles in the game, and that is incredible. It's also so useful against maxes. A C4 well placed will one-shot a max instantly, and even if he's not quite on the middle of the explosion, it'll take him maybe low enough for you to finish off with your carbine. Without C4, you have no chance of killing a max. But a lot of the time, I'll get up high behind a big clump of enemies, look down, and throw C4 into the middle of them. To be honest, find a max, put a C4 on him, and that's it. Blow it up. C4 is, especially as well, if you run into max or heavy in an indoor environment, in a close corridor, you run around the corner, you come face to face, don't try and fight, just immediately turn around and run, but leave a C4 behind you. Then the moment he comes around the corner, just blow him up. Free kill for you. Top tip number 3, play the objectives. This is a situational thing. I think you should do different things in different situations. For the temptation is to run around being just a tank hunter, just trying to C4 tanks. And to be honest, I spent quite a lot of time doing this. I shouldn't, but it's just so fun. But because of your mobility, you should really be the one who's going, especially like amp stations and stuff. You should be going for the generators. They're around the periphery. They're a bit fiddly to get to if you're on foot. But with your jetpack, it's really easy and safer for you to run across the top of buildings, go down, either bomb or defuse a bomb on a generator, and then kind of move on to the next one. So in these big base attacks, that I normally try and do that, and cap points as well. If there's 3 capture points, you can get between capture points much quicker than any other class, which means you should really be running around and trying to keep base control while the rest of your team go around and actually try and deal with stuff. That said, your role as an anti-vehicle person should not be underestimated because you're so powerful, and because a vehicle can lock up. An enemy tank can lock up your team quite effectively, so if you can get in and blow it up, you can actually do a lot to build momentum. And also, especially in smaller bases, in a smaller base environment, I will often tend to take on the tank hunter role, because, it's a heavy one-on-one with a tank will take quite a long time to kill it, and the tank can often bail on low health. In these big fights, tanks, generally the moment people start focusing them, they'll blow up because there's so much concentrated fire. But in these little close environments, one tank can do a serious amount of damage, and if you can take it out, you give your team a big advantage. Plus, it's incredibly fun. Tip number 4 is get the giraffe camouflage. I play Vanu Sovereignty, and they default dress in, full purple. It's quite easy to distinguish a Vanu from the other 2 factions. The giraffe camouflage, aside from making you look like a giraffe, the colour scheme is a mix of creams and kind of bluey, reddy generic, which means that you look so much more similar to the enemy troops. Obviously someone who has half a brain will notice you, but I have to find, even myself, if someone in Giraffe Skin runs past you quickly, you've got somewhere to go, and you just see this guy who's kind of your colour, and it's laggy and explosions and all the kind of general stuff. It's actually quite hard to distinguish if you're not paying attention, especially if it's in the middle of a really big clump of infantry. If you manage to use your jetpack and get around behind and kind of pretend you're in amongst these really big clumps of 30 people in a 10-meter squared space, people just won't notice you because you just blend in. You look the same, and you look like a giraffe, so they just assume you're a harmless grazing animal. But it's really useful, because I've done a lot of my time trying to get behind enemy lines and run around, and especially my favourite tactic is to find a massive clump of enemies, run through the middle of them, dropping a couple of packs of C4, and then just jetpack away, blowing up. You can get so many kills in one go, and it's so satisfying. Tip number 5, my final tip, maybe not so much of a tip as a gameplay suggestion. You can buy shotguns as well, and an alternate playstyle is the shotgun playstyle, and for this I would only recommend the Nova shotgun. There are others, but the Nova is by far the best, and you get 8 rounds in a magazine, and it's fully automatic, so you can do some real damage. The difference between a shotgun and a carbine playstyle is that obviously the shotgun is close range, but it is extremely close range. You have to be right in their face to make this thing effective, which your class playstyle helps you do, so that's quite helpful. Basically, it can suck sometimes. If you buy the shotgun, it can suck if they're at medium range, because you can't do anything. But on the flip side, your normal carbine, you basically have to use a whole clip to kill anyone, especially if it's a heavy and they've got even half their shields up. You spend your whole time using your whole clip, and you kill one person and then you reload and then you die, if there's more people around. With the shotgun, you can go on multi-kill sprees. If you're close, it only takes 2 shots, 8-round magazine. You can just tear through people, and of course it gives you much more stopping power, rather than having to waste a whole clip into them, which gives them quite a while to shoot you back. You can kill them in 2 shots before they've even really worked out that you're not a giraffe. I would not say that the shotgun is a worth investment if you're just intending on playing the light assault a little bit now and then. If you've played the class quite a lot and you know what to do and you know how to get into the really good positions, I would say it's worth a try, because it is incredibly fun, and then you can go on some serious sprees, but it's not the best. There's a kind of a mid-ground, which is getting slugs for the shotgun, and this is it gives you much more medium range stopping power and all of the damage of a normal shotgun. It's 3 shots to the body or 2 shots to the head with the slugs, but it means that you can effectively shoot medium and short range, which means you get that high stopping power at the medium to long ranges as well. You're not going to fight long range, the light assault. You're only ever going to be maximum medium range, so it essentially covers all of your bases. The difficulty of slugs is that you actually have to aim them. The shotgun, you literally just point and go for it. The slugs fire one big solid bullet, and if you miss, it can be pretty crucial. So that is a middle ground. Probably the hardest, I guess, to aim properly because it's the least spray potential, but also the most stopping power if you get it right because of the range advantage. Well, I think that concludes my light assault guide. Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing similar guides like this for the other classes, for the vehicles. I'm going to be putting out random gameplays. It's just me and my friends playing. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching.